This season, Blue Zoo TV, presented by Akari, featuring Fluval, is coming to you from Portland. Blue Zoo TV, presented by Hikari, featuring Fluval. We're doing our West Coast swing. Oregon, anyway. We're here to see our man, Steve Lunblad, from the Wet Spot. We're gonna go see Cichlid Exchange, and we're gonna go see some folks at Coldwater Marine. But first, this place, the Wet Spot, with our man, Steve Lunblad. Let's check them out. So Blue Zoo TV, presented by Hikari, featuring Fluval, finally made it out to Portland to see our man, Steve Lunblad. Steve.
Hello.
How you doing, brother?
Great to have you here finally.
I took this sign from the front because I thought it made a nice impression. No?
Yes.
So we are back in the back of your store, and we'll get into the whole layout of your store in a minute. This is kind of, I don't want to call this the yellow room. This is more of a visitor relaxation display room.
Yes, correct.
Is there a reason why you picked the tanks that you picked and the livestock that's in them? Any reason why?
Not directly. I mean, it's evolved over the years with a few changes on which species did very well in this room. Summer months, this room tends to get a little warm, so we tried to pick species that would deal well with warm water. And just things that were fairly relaxing, because a lot of people come back here and just relax, especially people that aren't necessarily into fish. They just come sit here and look and sit in a chair and watch fish while the person they're with that does like fish is looking around the room. So just the fish that are relaxing, not too active, but that do well in this environment.
Steve, now that we've finally got here, paint a picture for people. How many gallons, how many species, how many fish, how many tanks?
Well, at last count, we have roughly 400 aquaria. There's about 13,000 gallons of water, which encompasses a roughly 2,000 species of fish. That number does vary from times of year depending on availability and weather conditions and what I might decide to be able to bring in that somebody might like, but usually it's somewhere in that vicinity.
So retail experience has taught you that the easiest way to do it on a customer base is let's put the more aggressive fish on one side and the community fish on the other. Was that where the expansion all took place?
Yeah, that was kind of one of the ideas of the expansion too, was to give us more room. And because we were known for a lot of these larger, more aggressive cichlids, instead of continually having to tell people this won't go in their community tank, we decided that the second side of the store would be very good for that. In addition, we moved anything that got larger, more aggressive, was a fish eater, things like this that people would not be able to put in their standard community aquarium onto that side of the store. So it's easier for them now to know, I have this kind of fish, I should be on this side of the store. So that was the idea behind it, and it's worked very well.
What's the percentage if you had to put one, or what is the reasoning, and can you bring in wild fish? And if you bring in wild fish, is it what you like, or are you getting feedback from customers, or just something that might be new available that comes in wild?
Wild fish, there's a lot of fish that are only available wild. A lot of fish have not yet been bred in captivity, so you're kind of forced to bring them in wild. But I do find that a lot of wild species actually do much better than most aquarists think, and they do actually better than some of the tank-raised fish. They seem to have less problems with them. But in different areas of the world, again, available at different times of the year depending on weather conditions. But we try to do lots of wild fish, and since I'm a fish purist, I like to continually see what I can find as far as new species, and with wild fish is really the only way you can do that.
You know, the Wet Spot is known for bringing in some unique fish and having unique fish already in the store. I think we need to go take a little tour and pick out some of those unique fish so we can get them on camera.
That would be a great thing. Yeah, we definitely try our best to bring in unique, different fish from all parts of the world, because one of my passions is to see different fish. And there's no better way than to bring them in, let the public see them as well. And we try to keep varieties from different parts of the world and see what people like.
Steve, we've gone from display area, display tanks, to the main showroom. I asked you before, can you show us a couple fish that really stand out? What are the angelfish all about? Why do you like these specific ones?
Well, I'm always real particular, again, about wild strains, and to get a different wild strains. Usually you see the typical Pterophyllum scalari everywhere. It's nice to see the other two species. We saw the Pterophyllum ultum earlier in the display tank, and now in one of the tanks we also have the Pterophyllum leopoldi, that teardrop angelfish, which is kind of a rarely seen angelfish. Kind of nice to see. It's a little different shape and more reminiscent of a festivum than an angelfish. But again, just still typical angelfish behavior, kind of angelfish size, not quite as big as an ultim angelfish, but just a really nice angelfish, again, that you don't get to see very often.
How about the tank next to it?
Next to it we have another interesting fish. Here we're talking about Central America this time, Chucomicrophthalmus, which comes from Honduras. A really nice looking fish. We have an adult male showing all the brilliant blue colors that this fish can get. Gets to be a quite large fish though, easily probably a foot long or better, but just a brilliant blue colored Central American cichlid with somewhat aggression, not as bad as some, but again, not a real passive fish, but just a really nice Central American that's not oftenly seen.
And we can tell that you have the smaller ones and you also have the big one, which we can see here, and it has its color, it's kept its color throughout its growth.
Yes, it's a beautiful fish. You can see the iridescent blues on the small fish, and then as they grow up, they get that blue all over the species, which is just a striking specimen to have in an aquarium. It works well with other Central Americans as well, but just to keep it by itself like this, really get to see what this fish can actually attain at full adult.
You did say drug cartel opening up fish business.
Yes, interesting facts. As the drug cartel gives back more land to the local people, the fishermen are allowed to go to a lot of other places in Colombia that they couldn't go or haven't been able to go for years. So lots of new fish are becoming available, and fish that weren't available are now available again. And with that said, we're going to move to the other side of the store. We're going to have our store manager, Travis Cooper, show you around to a lot of the really unique community type fish, the Planet Aquaria, and explain a lot of the idiosyncrasies about a lot of those fish to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephen.
You're welcome.
Blue Zoo TV is presented by Hikari, making species-specific diets long before it was fashionable, because at Hikari, we know it matters. And featuring Fluval, discover life below water with Fluval. Blue Zoo is proudly partnered with Carib Sea, bringing science to life. Nature protected, nature perfected with Carib Sea.
To email the show, go to bluezootv.com and follow us on Twitter @BlueZooTV.